This, my friend, is a market where every great dish begins. Beware of humans. If they notice or catch you, it's au revoir, Remy. Here we have the fish and produce vendors, les boulangeries for our baked goods, and les bouchers, how do you say, the butcher for our meats. Are you ready to get some food?
Are you ready to walk around on some food with your little rat feet? Look at me, just hopping all over everybody's crops, giving everyone diseases. I was gonna make a coronavirus joke, but everyone and their mother's been doing that. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that little kid who's very creepy. He's pretty, pleasant looking, his actual model. I mean, he's creepy and dead-eyed like a lot of the humans in this game, but his, icon when he sees you is, really sinister looking. I don't know why. And this is one of my absolute favorite dream sequences in this game, because it's snacks. And snacks are fucking awesome. I love snacks. I don't know if I've ever talked about this in a video, but and maybe it's a dumb thing to say, I feel like most people would probably agree with it, but eating is, undefeated. Obviously, sleeping and coming are both good. Watching movies can be nice. Although watching movies, the only problem with watching movies is that you have to pay attention if you're actually gonna give a shit about anything. And that can be a problem for some people, including myself sometimes when I'm very distracted. And also sometimes the movie sucks. Watching movies is really only good if the movie is good. Which I guess you could also say about food, because, I don't like eating shitty food that I don't like. But in general, I just think that eating is very satisfying, and I don't know, I feel like any food decently prepared is enough. And that was dog shit. I hated that. And that is why you will see in the next attempt here, I'm going to wait until the big part of the slice of cake is present, because it's very risky to try and get on that little one. Because Remy will move forward and do a little dance and then fall off of it like a fucking moron. I love when I drop something on this carpet and I can't see anything on it because it's a lot of different colors, and so everything blends into it. Oh man, that crescent roll looks delish. Those these cookies, they remind me of first of all, they start shaking before you actually land on them, which I think is stupid, but whatever. They remind me of Thin Mints, of Girl Scout cookies. And then I really like these things. These are Jaffa cakes almost, it looks like. Or I guess they're just little chocolate, sandwichy cracker things. I don't know. But look at this. It looks kaleidoscope of snackies. This is just gorgeous. I kind of wish that the level was longer, and I wish there was a little bit more variety in the stuff. I think this would be a fun slide one. You know how some of the dream sequences have slides in them? I think this could be a fun one. Maybe you go down a big Twizzler. I don't know. I had an idea for a video game back in the day when I was a kid. That was essentially just Candyland. I mean, it had nothing in common with the board game Candyland other than that, it was just a, food platformer, just platforming in, food-themed levels. Which has probably been done before in some capacity. Suppose you could call this game an example of that to a degree. But at the time, that's all I wanted when I was a kid was... Well, not all I wanted, but that's something that I wanted was a food-themed platforming video game. I also wanted all platforming games to be, like, either Mario or Banjo-Kazooie. Like, I want there to be a gold thing that you collect, and they, like, signal the completion of a task, and you collect them to move forward in the game. And then you also have little babies that you collect, little baby gold things that you collect along the way that are like your points or whatever. And you hop, and you know, you can do double jumps, and you can hit enemies, and there's not a bunch of other bullshit involved. That was my criteria for being a good game back in when I was a little baby boy. But anyway, this is the city market level, and once again, we have a case of me doing all of the level exploration and doing things before I really need to, because, yeah, the game is gonna make me come here and do things in all of these little nooks and crannies that I'm going into. But... this is just my impulse playing the game. I just want to go around and find all the stars, and I never remember, like, what the first thing you need to do in any of these levels is, so I just kind of fuck around until I run into it. And in this level's case, it is at the literal opposite end. That was a very lucky jump there. At the literal opposite end of the level, and then you have to go all the way back to the beginning for the next part, but you'll see that in due time. A lot of dream sequence stuff in this one, and that was horseshit. Like, why does it not always work? And the collectible in this one is batteries. I do not remember what they're for. I kind of like that, how you can collect stuff and it will result in things changing in the overworld. It kind of reminds me of the Over the Hedge game, where there are, you know, that game works if you haven't seen it or played it before. You do a series of heists, like each set of levels is a different setting, sometimes just human houses, like a block of human houses, or it's like a business of some kind. Like you rob a train at one point, you go to a shooting gallery in like a theme park. There are things like main things that in each heist section you're going for. Like the shooting gallery / roller coaster, you are looking for a popcorn machine. I think the first human house heist that you do, you're looking for a projector, and and another one you do a big TV. But then there are like optional ones that are kind of a pain in the dick to get, and you kind of have to just get them while you're doing all the other level stuff. And if you get them, then all of these things like show up in your little hub world, which is like pretty tiny, and it's not like you can't do anything with them or anything. They don't change anything about how the game is played or whatever, but it's just kind of neat to, you know, go back to your home base and you have all this shit that you stole, all these cool food things and gadgets that you can have, and being a frisky little animal. I don't know, I think it's neat. This is another favorite dream level of mine, because it's about another kind of food that I really like, which is pasta. I'm a big proponent of carbs, but yeah, no, pasta is fucking awesome. I love spaghetti. What are other pastas that I like? That is very easy to have happen, and I do it every time that I play this game. It's just because I have no patience. That's really all it is. If I were a smart person, I would just wait for the olives. But No, I have to do it quickly. I have to be a happy hopping gamer guy that can do anything. Anyway, pasta. I like is ramen pasta? Like, would you consider like instant ramen a preparation of pasta? It is noodles. Is ramen a soup? I guess you would say it's a soup. There's usually a broth to it, which I think is the main component in soup. I think it's the thing that makes cereal not a soup. I used to be on the yes side of the is cereal a soup argument, but then someone told me, like, well, milk doesn't count as a broth, or it shouldn't count as a broth because of just what a broth is. And cereal is already its own, like, group of food. Like, the important part is more the grain, the cereal, rather than the fact that it's in a bowl and wet. Like, that's the only thing really making it a soup. Which also makes me think about what makes something a salad, because there are lots of things. To me, salad implies greens or vegetables, unless otherwise specifically whatever word I'm thinking of, unless specifically said otherwise, like a fruit salad or a macaroni salad. But then at that point, what is a salad? Is it just a bunch of shit, like, put together? Like, I don't know what about it makes it a salad. I don't know how you would class that. So if anyone is, like, a food expert and wants to tell me that would be helpful. Because those are the things that I stay up at night wondering. And by stay up at night, I mean, like, just sit in my house during the day and think about, instead of doing something productive or good. Anyway, there you go. Nice, fun little noodle slide. Just knocking out all the dream levels right now, I suppose. They're one of my favorite parts of the game. The other thing, I was actually just doing it earlier today, where and yeah, I'm speeding this up because, like, I'm hopping around in areas of the game that I'm gonna have to go back and do all this anyway. But, I mean, I did it, so you might as well see it, but no point in watching me wander around for 10 minutes. But anyway, I was reading earlier today about agriculture. I was reading about, like, you know, the Neolithic revolution, just the beginnings of agriculture, what crops were the first ones, which plants and animals were the first to be domesticated, and in which regions, and it's all super interesting information. And it made me think about something that I very often think about. And yeah, you can just trick this crab into blowing up that thing, because he loves to take all your shit, but if you hand him a bomb, then you don't need to worry about it. And here's me fucking Shrekking myself. Great job on my part. Oh yeah. Remy loves saying that. I like how I didn't go and hit the spoon box. I'm a fucking dumbass. I do enjoy this level. I like it more than the kitchen one, just because there's more space to run around. There's lots of things to hop on. And it's nice, you know, weaving through all of the nooks and crannies of this big city market. Yeah. And I don't know what the, like, actual way you're supposed to get these things past these crabs is. I just kind of, like, brute force it. I will just hit them, and do some weird finagling running around them. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but that's what I did, and it worked, so whatever. And I just spoiled my whole, thing. And I'm, like, the king of falling off of shit in this game and taking... I always forget that you take a shitload of fall damage in this game, which makes sense because you're a tiny little baby mousy boy. And yes, I know that he's a rat and not a mouse. I don't care. It was just a funny turn of phrase. Ah, good times. And yeah, the purpose of all this dog shit will be, apparent shortly enough. But we're looking for a fuse, if you missed it. There's a fuse inside this thing, and we need it to operate the forklift because we have this very complicated and roundabout plan of... spoilers, but basically we're gonna trick a poor old woman into buying all of our groceries for us. And I hate how these crabs can just fucking, like, use the force and pull shit out of your hands from miles away. It's fucking bullshit. But anyway, yeah, so basically we're just gonna put all the stuff we want into her bag, and then we're gonna just steal her bag. And she'll just go home hungry, I guess. Fuck that lady. It's the same lady that shot at us when we were in her home at the beginning, so yeah, maybe fuck her. She sucks, I guess. That groan. Ow! And yeah, now we have to go all the way back to talk to Big Fatty. But I didn't feel like doing that, so we're gonna go in the other dream level now, because I love being asleep. I wish that my dreams were like this, where I was just in a, you know, kaleidoscopic, what am I trying to call it? You know what I'm talking about. Shut up. I'm always amazed when people can, like, reproduce images from their dreams. Like, I could not do that. I'm, like, I feel like I used to be, but recently, and by that I mean, like, the last 5 years or more of my life, I could not at all, like, describe to you most things about my dreams. They kind of just go away most of the time after I've woken up. And it sucks. I hate it because I think some of my dreams are, like, they might offer some insight into how I'm processing some things, but I just have no goddamn idea. And that was a rookie mistake there. And yes, the spinning cucumber slices have returned from the fruit stage, because I guess it doesn't matter. Are cucumbers fruits or vegetables? I don't even remember. I think they're fruits. They look like vegetables because they're green. All vegetables are green. That's the rule. Unless it's carrots, or the many others. And there I go, doing it again. I wish you could fall on the cutting board. I mean, it's right there. It's not even that far down. Oh, jeez. I don't know what to say about this, other than I'm about to get my ass handed to me by some mushrooms. These are very intimidating. That whoosh sound that they make is so aggressive. And yeah. Wah, wah. I didn't want to include my death because I thought it would be upsetting to my younger viewers. Oh, I didn't even finish a fucking thought that I had earlier, as I am so prone to do. I was saying that earlier I was just reading, like, a Wikipedia article about farming and shit, and it got me thinking about how I really want, and I mean, it's not one of those things where, you know, like, I could just do it and then eventually be done. It would be more of a lifelong pursuit of understanding something. That I want to learn more about the history and the current, like, not just the history, like the ancient history, but also the more recent history and the, you know, intricacies of modern day agriculture, as well as like the economy and like infrastructure, because I feel like I have a grasp on the very basics of how all of those systems work, but I want to be able to speak intelligently about like how the economy operates, how global agriculture operates. I want to know more about the intricacies of how they work, so that I can understand them better and so you can critique them better. And I will maybe elaborate what I mean by that in the next one, because it's the end of the video. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.